Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Let's Play with me, your host, Tim. And today, we're going to start playing through Witch Hunt together. There's going to be some prep here that you can skip by going to the comments down below. You'll find a pinned comment from me down there that'll have a timestamp in it, allowing you to jump past this prep before we hit new game in case this doesn't really interest you. We're going to talk a little bit about Witch Hunt, what Witch Hunt is, how far I got in it, how far I plan on playing it, and any stuff that I'll be doing while we're playing this game that you might be interested in knowing. First off, Witch Hunt is a first-person exploring hunting game of sorts. We'll be playing the role of a colonial-era hunter who arrives in a village. He's armed with a musket, a pistol, and a saber, and the burning desire to rid the surrounding woodlands of a powerful creature which has been killing the residents. The appreciation of the townsfolk won't be the only reward, though, for downing this monster. There's an incentive in those woods, as there's treasure hidden in those hills. There's also a host of minor undead that will be attempting to kill us, in addition to the creature we are trying to hunt down. I've gotten fairly far in the game, I think. At the time that I am beginning this recording, I have eliminated the first 3 creatures. They've fallen to lightning and my silver bullets. And I thought about it and decided, you know, we can probably go ahead and record a little bit of this game at the very least. I'm familiar with the woods, and although figuring out where the creatures are located isn't going to really get any easier for me. On that note, while I do like this game, it's not a perfect game. Hunting is more guessing where it is if you can't make out what you're seeing, as the main form of our hunting is through clairvoyance. And I don't mean to be down on the game right away, but I think we'll probably end the game after we take down the first creature. Maybe we'll do a little bit of the second, since some aspects of that can be quite challenging. But I'm not sure how entertaining it will be for you guys to watch me walk through woods and just chat to you guys. Maybe you guys will actually love it. So we will find out. At the very least, I think we can defeat the first of these. And I can make it entertaining enough for us to do that. There's no books or tomes to read aside from the ones that gives us skills in this game, and there's very little dialogue in the game, save for some congrats or some initial hellos from the few townsfolk that we will be encountering. So most of it will then come from me, as we're going to be spending easily 98% of our time in this game, if not close to 100%, in the woods, trying to track down the thing that has been tracking down other people. To that end, the game has a great dark forest, both in terms of size and atmosphere, so I will attempt to talk about Halloween-y things while we're in it, or about what's going through my head as we're trying to track down these creatures, or at least the first one. But because of how much time we'll be spending in them, you can probably expect some amount of immersion-breaking chat as well. We're going to have several hours of hunting together, viewer, so we should prepare for that. In any case, that's all for the prep, so I'm off to check on how this came out, and assuming everything's acceptable, we'll be back to hit new game. Give me a few seconds. Alright everyone, so it sounds like my voice is coming out okay. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so one last thing before we get going. I am going to try to keep my conversations with you guys in character this time around. Normally when I play a game, I am trying to give you hints as to what's going on in my head and why I'm making the choices I'm making. So I do a very descriptive, or I try to do a very descriptive play-by-play. For example, in Mainframe Defenders, I'm talking about why I'm moving my squad mates to certain positions. Or in Underrail, I might be talking about why I'm using certain skills in a certain order, or why I'm taking points when I level myself up. Well, we're still going to do stuff like that, but I'm going to try to filter it through this hunter. So instead of, for example, me saying, I see a zombie up ahead, and so we don't want to fire our gun because we'll alert everything nearby, I'll say something like, that zombie up ahead. If we fire our gun at it, Vi, we'll alert everything within the nearest 500 meters of our existence, where we're located. We're going to sneak up on this one this time. It won't know what's coming for it. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. It's going to be bad. But whatever. We're giving it a try, because I want to have some fun with this. And I've not tried to do that before. And yes, I'm going to use that voice. It's going to change, because I'm not very good at accents or voices. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So let's go ahead and start us up a new game before I really regret this. Here we go. And if we don't like it, we can change it for the next video. But, oh man, I'm going to give it a try at least for this first one. Here we go. Sometimes, you can make mistakes. Those will often get you killed in the woods, in the mountains, the caves. Here, thankfully, it just is a little bit embarrassing. We hit continue instead of new game. There's no reason to do that, because we are, in fact, going to start anew. Let's begin. When demons slaughtered my family, I decided to devote my life to fighting evil. At first, I was only motivated by vengeance, but then I met a man who showed me the right way. Recently, I heard that in a small town called Belleville, people started to disappear and were being killed by some creature. I immediately went to that town to investigate. On my way to Belleville, I was attacked by something huge. I was able to scare it off, but my horse ran away with most of my supplies. Luckily, I was able to get to town on foot. Thankfully, it was very close. The creature was large, and we are wounded, as you can tell. Vi, you've been with me for a long time, and I will need you to look through my eyes as you often have to guide me. I can feel your thoughts, although I cannot hear you, but you allow me to see, as you phrase it, how much life I have left. You yourself have told me you sense this, for some reason, in the lower left corner of what I see. And thanks to your presence, I slowly heal. Belleville. It looks like another similar town, whose name I can't recall. I believe the town will do. You might remember, there was a cove nearby, some ancient ruins on top of a hill. An evil mushroom-filled forest as well. We did quite a bit of exploring in that town together. Eventually, a fanatic arrived, a cross strapped to his back, and brands brought with him. He claimed he was going to eliminate the evil from the town and from the surrounding areas, and went out hunting vampires. I soon remember a group of adventurers following him out to the cove a day later, and neither of them returned. A similar feeling here. Hopelessness. That town, at least, was in the process of being renovated. A sanitarium had been being worked on, and the weaponsmith, a forge, was being improved. Here, though, I can already tell this town is mostly abandoned. Everyone who felt like they could flee did. Most likely many of them did not make it. That beast was very quick, and likely to kill us very easily if we make a single mistake. but not everyone has left. Judging from the cart near him, this must be a trader of some sort.
Hey, I think I have what you need.
Do you? Let's see. And he does. Books to teach us skills we will need in those woods to help us track and survive against our prey. And equipment we will need to further assist us in this regard. He has something for us for free. A silver crucifix. Let us take that. We did not bring much money with us. Most of what we had was in our cart in the form of supplies. Unfortunately, we lost that cart and our horse. Judging from the size of this gentleman's cart, it seems to me that he realizes he cannot make it out of this town without being slaughtered by the creature. Our presence to this town was known, and he decided most likely to set up shop here. It can be a very lucrative business, downing creatures. We ourselves expect to get paid. While we are here to help the townsfolk, this is not a charity, and if we are not given funds for our needs, we can't defeat these creatures by throwing mud at them and harsh words. Silver bullets will have to do. Our equipment, Vi. You've seen these before. We came armed, apparently, with at least these weapons still on us. Too important for me to leave them in the cart. A saber, a flintlock musket, and a flintlock pistol. You are keeping track of our skills as well. You'll note that we have always had the ability to sense when something we are hunting, the true object of our hunt, is within 500 meters of us. I don't understand what that is in distance, because I use empirical units, and I believe you use metric. We might disagree, but I believe 500 meters is approximately 1,600 feet. That is quite some distance, and the heartbeat generally lets me know that I should pay attention to my surroundings, but we might not be in any immediate danger. Speaking of not being in danger, let's head into the church. It would be good to meet the priest. Father Ludwig, I believe is his name, and he seems to be absent at this moment. A few townsfolk are still here for sanctuary and/or succor. This place must be blessed. Otherwise, I would imagine the snoring gentleman there would be in his home. You do not look like a priest, sir. Have you seen Father Ludwig?
You're probably looking for Father Ludwig. Unfortunately, he got killed by that horrible beast. That's why I'm looking after the church. I can provide medical help if you need it.
We are fine, but thank you. You've mentioned, Vi, that we regenerate over time, and indeed, I have seen my wounds close slowly. We heal 1 hit point per minute, just about. It's faster than that. Actually, it might be like 25 seconds or so. I don't understand what you mean by hit points, but I am grateful that you can tell me when I am fully healed. I know this book by heart. I realize that you would rather me use your true name, Vi, but we stick with that nickname. It stands for viewer for short. What you are, after all, to me. A save stone. These can be interacted with in order to supposedly save our life should something untoward happen to us. These stones exist and somehow preserve our essence. They perceive, if they could do so, time as a singular instance. As such, It knows every single instance in which I interact with it, and should a version of me fall, I will reappear at the stone. With the memory of what happened, however, ingrained in us, it is not a pleasant feeling. However, they will allow us to perform our task without fail. However, there is some other penalty to falling many times against these creatures, besides embarrassment. We came equipped with a single lockpick as well. I am not as skilled at using them as you were, Vi. Hopefully we will be able to find a way to assist me in this endeavor. Normally, we would not want to rob the town of the precious riches it still possesses, in case the people come back. But we will put to good use their funds far more than they will in this current state, and if we are unsuccessful at bringing down this creature, well, this town will be abandoned and consumed by the woods. As such, as you have pointed out, we should not feel guilty about taking what we can from the abandoned homes here. This town should be for the living, not for the dead and forgotten. The town mayor. We had a brief conversation earlier through mail, and he is expecting us. Let's not keep the good gentleman waiting.
Good evening, sir. As the mayor of Belleville, I can guarantee that if you'll really be able to help our town, your doings will be greatly rewarded, and you'll have our eternal gratitude. To get to the woods, go across River Bridge. Be careful. People have seen some undead creatures in those woods, so we are dealing with something much more sinister than just a wild beast. Good luck, and God bless you.
There is more, apparently, to the woods than just this large creature which attacked us. If there are other undead in those woods, this creature might have been drawn here due to its other evil influence, whatever else lurks out here. Werewolf. Fast, large, very dangerous. If we miss a shot against it, we are likely to be killed. Like this unfortunate soul. God preserve her. Her spiritualness, at least. Her physical form has fallen. What was she doing carrying a silver goblet out of the woods? Maybe the only treasure she decided to take from wherever home she was a servant at. She risked taking no more for fear of slowing her down. She must have tried to flee into the woods. Maybe to leave an offering somewhere, or try to appease this evil creature. It probably wounded her, and she collapsed here after crossing the bridge. This is good to know. This werewolf probably cannot enter this town. Father Ludwig hopefully blessed it, and or put some wards here across the bridge, or somewhere else to keep it safe. Well, we won't kill this creature by standing around and talking all day, Vi. Let's get out there. As you know, as we mentioned earlier, when a powerful monster is within 500 meters, I can sense its presence. People say that I possess this ability because the blood of an angel runs through my veins. Whether that is a good or a fallen angel, however, I do not know. It certainly feels like a curse sometimes. Poor Belle. I really hoped you had managed to run away. We can learn some things from this corpse. The eye of her has been torn out of its socket, its stomach slashed open, its spine pulled through it, a leg broken. No tooth marks anywhere on her. No teeth marks, bite marks. No claw marks. She was toyed with and left here. A warning for us to not go out into these woods. Some of our supplies. A single wrapped package of silver bullets. We'll take them and make sure that we put them directly into our ammo pouch. Unfortunately, our pouch can only hold 20 such silver bullets. Any silver bullets which are exposed to the air for longer than 1 minute will end up becoming useless, their magic fading. This is why, even though these packages contain roughly 8 bullets each, we can only hold the maximum that our ammo pouch allows. There is another save stone ahead. But there is something else up ahead as well. A female form. You've mentioned Vi to us several times, having come from some other time yourself. That technology here is quite old. Indeed. We use flintlock weapons. I don't understand what you mean when you say laser weaponry, or other such odd terms that I cannot fathom. But it takes a long time to reload these weapons. Thankfully, our saber needs no time to reload. And is also silent. We'll discuss this in a little bit. Vi, you are urging me to shoot her, and I do not know her. Yes, it is likely that she is indeed dead already, but we should investigate. At least once. I hear no sound coming from her. She could be just praying or lost in thought, or she has interacted with the save stone, and she herself is not capable of doing so. We know that someone's mind can be ripped from them if they do not have the ability to use mana. Ma'am, are you okay? You should step away from the stone. Do not get closer to it. You saw it briefly, I think, Vi. Although I don't see it, I can feel it. An emanation coming from her when she died. Mana. It fades over time if we don't pick it up, dissipates into the very air. That there was mana emanating from her tells me that she was created by something in these woods, and not the werewolf. If we do not claim that magic emanation, it will vanish, and the longer that it exists, the less of it there is for us to claim, if I recall correctly. It's important to note that as... how to phrase this? As unsavory as this is to know, zombies are often raised from graves, and sometimes they have some belongings with them. Zombies or humanoid figures seem to possess, occasionally, a few coins, maybe an object that they were carrying. We can put those to better use than their rotting corpses can. Other such creatures, however, wild dogs, spirits, and the like, will possess no such treasure. With no map of the woods, we will need to try to remember where we are, based upon landmarks and where we have originally been. We lost our compass, and I have no clue what these woods could contain or the layout. However, you have felt this area out for us, I believe, and have provided me with some basic information. What I'm trying to say here, viewer, is that I have played the game for maybe like 6 or 7 hours, and as such, I have a general feel for where I'm located in the woods, and I don't think I will get lost very much. That tree is rather ominous. We will want to explore that ridge if we can make it up there. These woods, like others scattered in nearby towns, is both filled with hostile forces, undead, wild dogs, hellhounds. Whisperers likely lurk in these woods, as do other creatures. Most of the undead and most of these creatures are rather mindless. There's no great tactical thought or strategery that they possess. They will charge us as quickly and as straightforward as they can. They move about and tend to also leave an area that we are not in, or that we leave shortly thereafter. We will need to be very careful and ration our bullets appropriately. If we are at, as you say, full life, whatever that means, we can probably risk engaging an enemy using our saber. Sabers make no noise either when we swing them, and as such, are a safer weapon to use if we don't want to alert other potentially nearby creatures to our existence and where we are located. Hello, boy. Who would leave you locked inside this cave? We only have one lockpick. It's not a good chance. But I don't want to leave this poor creature here. Without any lockpicks, we are forced, however, to do so. I promise you we'll come back. It looks like there was some treasure in that cave as well. But I would like to save that dog. Nothing deserves to starve to death behind bars. We cannot climb sheer vertical cliffs. Indeed, if the ridge or slope is too steep, we also cannot climb it. This is interesting to note, however. Because these creatures we hunt cannot do so either. They must find a way. A crimson ghost. A tricky creature to fight. It possesses no treasure. It can burn your eyes away, even looking at it when you are within a certain distance. You must look away, or risk having your soul burned out of you. However, it takes quite a bit of magical energy to create one of those creatures. If we can kill it, we will be restored fully of our magical capacity. Since it is ahead of us, why don't we actually go ahead and see where our prey may be? We have a rather unique way of hunting. We are unable to make out any tracks. We will not find any blood paths left by the werewolf. There is no lure we can use besides firing our gun. We instead see what it sees, similarly to how you see what I see, Vi. That, combined with the heartbeat, letting us know when we are close to the creature, are the tools we use to track it. Let us kill this zombie. Our wagon. We need to gain some distance. If I can't even look at the zombie I am going to be fighting. That will end up very bad for me. It knows I'm here, and it is charging. We need to let it get closer, however. I think it's still a little too far away. We can use the trees to help me get a little closer to it. We will kill it, use our clairvoyance, and then absorb the mana. It is near a cliff face of some sort, in a more open area of the woods. Most of our supplies have been lost, and some of it's been taken. The werewolf would do nothing with this. There is something else out here, which has probably attracted the werewolf as a guardian of some sort, and is hidden. It could even be a witch. I'm not sure just yet. We will need to examine the corpse of the werewolf. This will be no easy task to do, however. You might not have seen me hunt a werewolf before, Vi, so in case you have not, I will describe how this works. Their werewolf is large, obviously, and very fast. If we miss our shot against it, it will charge us, knowing exactly where we are, and be upon us in just a few seconds. We will barely have time to switch to a different ranged weapon, and if that also misses, we will be quite dead. It will not be very afraid of our saber, as it swings faster and does significantly much more damage to us than we will to it at that point. However, if we hit it with a silver weapon, it instinctively will run away as fast as it can to some other area to lick its wounds. However, silver bullets will stop it from healing. It will be a matter of time to track and kill it. That's all it will take. Time, patience, perseverance, and roughly about 12 silver bullets. cabin. And another save stone by it. We should investigate. If nothing else, to make sure the area is clear. You will want to use that, maybe, as a outpost, resupply point. That tingling sound. In addition to my heartbeat, my ears ring whenever I am near a special plant. They will heal us. You've mentioned in the past that they heal 20 hit points. I am not sure what that means, but I seem to heal fully if I eat about 5 of them, assuming that I was very close to dying. In my time hunting, I still have not discovered if those plants actually themselves regrow. I do not think they do. There will be enough of them out here to probably keep us alive in emergency and help us survive if we're being chased by something hostile. However, we will not want to eat them just because we can. If we're close to healing, or I do not love healing, if we are close to, as you say, full life, we should leave them alone. And if I do not think we will have trouble killing what we're facing, we will also leave them alone and let our natural regeneration heal us. A woodsman's home, or woodcutters, it would seem. I don't understand it myself, but occasionally in the world there are signposts. I am able to interact with this and remember the town, holding it in my mind's eye, and I will find myself then there, not having to actually walk back. The same thing can happen in town, as long as there is such a signpost. Our heart began to beat, Vi. You are warning me that the creature is nearby, or was, very briefly. We've talked about this before, Vi. The creature, although my heart is beating, is still not within, I think, my field of view. We do not see it quite yet. Let us continue to... Actually, we will go ahead and use some ventriloquism. Maybe we can see what it sees. This will guide me to where it might be located. The area is a bit open. I believe it is down this way. Stay low to the ground. we are less visible to this creature, and any others for that matter. It could still notice us. I suspect we might see it when we cross this ridge. If we fire our gun at this point and we are close enough to it... Oh, it is gone. It might hear the gunfire and come charging towards us. It can close quite a distance very rapidly. And it is not in this direction, so it is somewhere up there to the north. Let's head back to the cabin. While we're here, let's search this clearing. It'd be quite amazing where you might be able to find a cast-off goblet or some strange golden statue that heathens would pray to or offer as gifts to their strange gods or idols out here. We will put them to better use than those gods who do not answer their prayers. Snake. A viper. Left here to guard this house, apparently, but probably not by its previous owner. The previous owner looks like he was eliminated some time ago. Without a compass, we won't be able to tell where we exactly are, but we are currently in the center of this map, near that save stone and the sign. Lockpicks. Apparently the woodcutter was up to some nefarious deeds in his free time. Or perhaps he just lost his keys fairly often. This is most likely not a good sign. Finding a black goat in the woods. He is not hostile, though, and will likely follow us around while we're out here. Maybe he was the woodcutter's pet. We don't have a good chance to unlock that door at 35%, or so you're telling me, Vi. However, it looks like we can reach through this to get more lockpicks. And some more silver bullets, which I should not have taken in retrospect, since we only got one bullet from that. Let us go back to town. We will search it slightly for more treasure, and if we find enough, we might be able to improve our capabilities with lockpicks. I have a feeling that if the girl who had been here was carrying a goblet, maybe there's another nearby. Maybe she meant to drink with the werewolf. Well, 11 more coins will give us 100 and more. Slightly over 100, which is enough, I believe, to buy a skill book. Let us take this one. Our lockpick chance has now been improved to 65%. We are now more likely to succeed at our attempts to get into locked places. And we have 8 lockpicks. Let us go back out into those woods. And we will try to free that poor dog. It might seem odd, as a hunter, to begin by taking something that is not related to hunting. However, I can feel in my bones that this area, this woods in general, does indeed possess quite a bit of treasure. And again, we will put that to better use than the dead, one of which charges us. Not all the unfortunate souls buried out here or reanimated possess coins or things of worth. Most, in fact, will not. We are playing a losing game overall, where our funds will eventually run out if we're not too careful. Having to fight enemies with our saber, in particular the giant creatures we will be hunting, is not something you want to do. It is most likely to lead to your death repeatedly if you use the save stones. Or just one if you decide not to. Hello, boy. We are back. Let us see if we can't get you out of there. Hopefully he finds his way back home. And hopefully that is the town, and not out here in the woods. Well, with another 105 coins added to our total, I think we should probably head back to town again. Let us purchase another book. I was thinking, Vi, that what we should do is continue our exploration of the woods, try to track this creature down, and put at least one bullet into it if we can, before we, as you like to say, call it a session. We will also be doing a bit of exploring, however, as I want to get a good feeling for the layout of these woods. When we come back, we'll head out in that direction next. Maybe we can climb one of the hills and see what we can see from that vantage point. You've pointed out many times, Vi, that switching weapons is faster than reloading. Indeed. As we have seen, it can take about 4 to 5 seconds to reload one of our weapons. Oh, thank you, boy. A beautiful golden goblet. We will be back for it. The next book I would like to purchase is something that will teach us how to get a better value for what we find. Greetings, trader. Skilled Merchant Book. Objects that we pick up will be worth 20% more coins. This means if a undead had dropped a bag of coins with, let's say, that would be worth normally 10, it'll be worth 12 for us instead. That will include things such as this goblet, for example. Thank you, boy, very much. Why don't we explore a little more of the town? Let's take a look at the other buildings that are up here at this high road. Two-story, large building, rats outside. Something walking around, it sounds like in the attic or on the 3rd floor. No one has been here for some time. Except the rats. A water stain. Looks like blood, perhaps, through the floor at the ceiling here. Like the attic to me. Actually, it's coming from that chest. Let us search the rest of this house before we search that. We're in town. I don't really want to draw weapons here. A glowstone. Useful. The stone helps you to see a bit better in the dark by emitting light. It's only immediately around us, and it's very, very faint, but at least we can still see in the dark now. Need the bullets. I don't recognize this doll. Perhaps we freed something that was better off left undiscovered. I'm seeing quite a few objects which hint that this town was not as God-fearing as it should have been. Or perhaps the gods they feared were not the correct god to fear, which is why they're in the trouble they are in. We began speaking of something Vi early on, and I got sidetracked when we were attacked. You've mentioned to me some things that I don't quite understand, but generally have made it known that I should not concern myself too much about save stones upon leaving and entering a town. I don't understand what you mean, but you have phrased it such that normal game saves automatically when you transition. All I know is that I seem to, if I do die and have not interacted with the save stone, reappear at an entrance to the town, as if I had just left it into the woods. The same goes for when I fast travel, as you call it. With the glowstone equipped, I now want to head back to this cave and give it a slightly more thorough look, although I do not think we'll find any gold within it. I would be remiss not to thoroughly check. Oh. Indeed, nothing else here. Alright then. The stone on the left-hand side of the map, slightly more to the west of that, is the entrance to the town. We are slightly south of that stone at the moment. We will head north and see where that takes us. I'm thinking that we will travel to the stream. I should probably also... well, no. We will travel to the stream and cross it and head further up north. I would like to get a feel of the perimeter. Maybe we will find additional save stones. Interesting that one stone came out of the ground near the church. That must be how all of them materialized at one point. It saw us and is charging. You can see her from the distance as she runs towards us, arms outstretched, wanting to claim our warmth with her cold hands. It's going to be difficult to explore this direction. if my eyes are being burned out of their sockets. I do not even see where it's located. There it is. The wolf is on a ridge of some sort. We'll have to get closer to eliminate this. We might be able to just bypass it, actually. Okay, it did not notice us. Our hearing is quite keen. We can detect where a creature is. It will sound very close to us, even though it is actually quite far away, or could be. That has hurt us. It made enough noise to draw this hellhound to us, our gunfire. Let us deal with this as well. Climbing down a ridge. I still do not quite recognize it. I suspect it is not near us, however, as our heartbeat is not going off. We are wounded enough that I will consume that plant. We have just crossed the stream to our south on the map. I cannot show you exactly where we are. Unfortunately, you can't see me interact with the map at all, Vi. Know that we are nearing the upper left-hand corner of the map currently. And based on our position, and that we do not have a heartbeat, that you hear, it is probably not in this section of the map. That sound is a zombie. The one all the way there. There is another one besides this one here as well. Let's get some distance from her. There's a second. A strange face with offerings left for it. We will put those to better use than just sitting out here in the top of this wind and rain-swept rock. The werewolf is not in this section. I am wrong. I doubt we will notice it from this distance. Let us see what it sees. Sorry. My view somehow was set to a minimum briefly. I had to reattune myself with you, viewer. I think it might be down here. Remember, the werewolf will be fast. Very fast. We cannot afford it to miss. We also need to be careful, as when we fire our gun, everything else will know where we are. We generally do not have to worry about being attacked from the sky, although we did briefly see a massive winged creature fly overhead, some sort of gargoyle. We should try to aim, literally, to bring that down if we can. Another save stone in the distance. And a tent, and apparently not near the werewolf. We will check this. Oh! It is faster than us, assuming we're walking. It's probably coming up from the south. Use these bullets. Could use a nice campfire. We brought no matches with us. That looks a little too steep for us to climb. Let us head south and see if we can't run into our quarry. Trying to track it while in the woods is going to be very difficult. Let's get the high ground. The werewolf can easily run around behind you, circling around to kill you. Something saw us. A wolf. badly wounded us there as well. Some sort of ghost up on that mountain. Looks like a whisperer, which we actually have not yet seen, nor do I think we've heard it. But let us make our way towards that ghost. There was another hellhound. There. We do have that silver cross. I think we'll place it up here. That tree might be a good location to leave it. Once placed, the crucifix will become charged with holy power after 30 seconds. After this, if the creature that we are hunting comes within 150 meters of it, the crucifix will lash out at it, hurting it badly. The crucifix will then have its power consumed and will no longer work another time. It can be useful to place them if you think you might miss your target, as if it charges you, the damage it deals will hopefully lash out and harm. Of course it will, but if you are firing close to the crucifix, the damage it deals may scare away your prey. Vi, there are two spirits up here. One, which I have not seen before, and another, which I am all too familiar with. Quite the opposite color. This one is a whisperer. A mote of darkness. A tear. In reality, the Whisperer is not from this world. If it decides to come after you, or rather, if you get too close to it, you will regret it. Your magical capacity will be harmed. You will lose all your mana. And you will also take physical damage in relation to how much mana you lost. Which is to say, if you lose more mana, you will actually take less life damage. Is the only way I can phrase it. In any case, you don't want either to happen. Whisperers cannot chase you very far, or rather, I'm sorry, they do not attack you from a great distance, and are not drawn to gunfire. Avoid them when you hear them, and you can keep away from them. We will, however, show you what interacting with one is like, but probably later. Hello, spirit. You You are not a hostile whisperer, or you would have attacked me already. I think it wants me to follow. This could be something similar to a will-o-wisp, leading us to our demise. But I'm pretty sure if a hostile spirit wanted us dead, and we were so close to it, we would be dead already. There are several hostile spirits in these woods, if it's like any of the others I've been in, and all of them can kill you with a single touch. We will avoid that whisperer. I do not think this spirit will give us protection from its more hostile brethren. Oh, thank you, spirit, very much. It has improved our health regeneration by leading us to a book. I did not realize such a blessed spirit existed. Make note of that, Vi. We will have to keep an eye open for others of it in the future. I don't know what to call that, so I'll call it the skitterer. Very quick. Skitterers are quite unlike some of the other creatures we will fight. They lash out very quickly at you, and then skitter away. Swiping at you, and then coming back again and again to whittle you down. I find it very difficult to harm them with bullets. Unfortunately, Vi, we just got the snot kicked out of us by a stupid zombie. The hitboxes, is what you call them, of some of these creatures are very difficult to ascertain. Unfortunately for us, fortunately for us, we are still alive, having been brought back to life by our previous interaction with that stone. We have our crucifix. We have not yet met that spirit. I'm still getting my saber arms on, as it were, I suppose. Let us see if that spirit is even here. It is. This time, I'd like not to use our crucifix. The werewolf will be where it was last time when we had interacted with that stone. I suspect it is walking around down here somewhere. Walking down a cliff face. might be on the other side of this. Let's try to make a thorough sweep of this hilltop. See what else might be up here. At the same time, however, I would like to keep my eye peeled on this side of the cliff. That whisperer is still here. It sees us. Let's try getting some distance from it. I've been at this too long. I am failing. I need a rest, a break, but I would very much like to put a single bullet into this werewolf. We are now drained of mana, having been touched by that whisperer. Pit of some sort, with foul-feeling energy emanating from it. I will place a crucifix here. I do not recognize that sound. Perhaps that is our werewolf. No, it's a spirit. But we could use some magic. There it is! Excellent. A much better result. Let us claim back our crucifix. Doing so does nothing. But I will not have it defiled out here. We should come up with a name for our goat friend. If you can think of one, Vi, let me know. We'll refer to him as that from the future. I have heard it said that if you strike a black goat, it will run to the greatest source of evil around to protect itself from you. But since it is not harming us, I do not wish to actually harm it in return. Let us see our ghostly friend again, and see if he brings us to that book. If he does, we will claim that book, make our way back to the cabin, and I think we will wrap things up there for the time being. Might be wondering, Vi, why sometimes I walk around with a weapon out and other times I do not. For the most part, I will walk around with our rifle out, or my musket. I find the fine precision of the weapon when staring down its iron sights to be very nice and comfortable. It makes me feel safe, and it has a great amount of range. The pistol's iron sights are not quite as reliable. Even if it does take quicker to reload, I do not think there is any difference between the weapons in the form of how much damage it does. Silver bullets are silver bullets. Thank you, Spirit. I appreciate this. The reward is slightly different. Healing plants from this book heal 40 life instead of just 20. This is a good point to make, I suppose, in that there are most likely other such books out here. I do not retain the information from them for very long. It tends to only last about a month or 3. However, they are very useful when we find them. This is what I'm going with, viewers, so I can explain why we don't actually have all of these different skills unlocked already for us. In any case, what we find will be random. There are several other books scattered about out here which we can find. I want to say there are 2 others, and I think there is at least one in town. I think we will wrap this up by heading back to town. There, we can purchase 1 or 2 more supplies from the trader. We do have 157 coins. We can summarize how things have gone so far for us, and then we will be back. During our session together, Vi, at the moment, we talked mostly about the hunt, and we have seen most of the things we will see out here. In the future, if you so desire, I can share instead stories about my other exploits throughout the time, hunting down various other creatures in different areas of the world. Before we head back to town, we do have 8 lockpicks. 12 lockpicks, actually. Why don't we use some here? We had been able to reach through the hole in the back of this shed to claim the lockpicks here and bullets. I feel there is one more thing of use for us in here, but minor. A sack of coins. 16 more added to our total. There was a treasure chest in here that we did not touch. A cannonball. This must hint that there is actually some artillery close by. Well, somewhere in the forest. We'll have to find it later. Let's head back to town. We will visit the trader, everyone, and do a little bit of talking. Actually, no. We should stop here. At the start of the next episode, instead, we can summarize what happened in this one. We'll go ahead and talk about a few other rules that I will have laid down for us as we are exploring and playing through this game, as you call it. Though, I find hunting to be much more than a game. we will hopefully put another few rounds into that werewolf, though I doubt we will kill it in the next episode. Thank you all for watching, Vi. And I will see you soon.